Hey, welcome to For the Story, the only podcast that retroactively altered its timeline. My name's Avery. Oh man, come on.
I'm very... I just want to let everyone know that I'm doing okay. I'm Ash.
That's Ash. He is doing okay.
We're also here with Sid. This take two's going great.
Yeah.
I just want to say.
There was never a take one. This is the only one. Because we've gone back in time and that's in our past now.
Oh my god, we did it again. We literally went back in time and altered.
Which makes a lot of sense because this week we saw The Godfather Part 2.
Also known as the most well-executed time travel movie.
Yeah, one of the best, for sure.
That's actually really true. That's a good point I didn't think about when we were hanging out before.
With The Godfather. Anyway.
We know a lot of mobsters and, frankly...
you know what's time when you don't know nothing.
So, we actually watched Avengers Endgame this week. Speaking of time travel.
Are you fucking kidding me? Again! Please.
Avery doesn't want us to hit this fucking mic stand.
Avery got like so mad when we were just...
that, and he's like, I have to edit that out, and that's how you sound.
I do have to edit it out. And I'm probably not going to either.
Good.
What are you guys going to do about it?
Avery, what are you going to do about
Nothing.
Avery, let's do a quick spoiler. Say, I am Iron Man.
So, right. That'll be our marker. No, so we did watch Avengers Endgame. We all saw it at different individual times.
I saw it first.
Sid saw it first.
We didn't see it individual times. Avery and I went to the same showing.
Yeah, but we are two distinct individuals, so we saw it individually together.
Yeah, we peed at different times this time. We were really proud of ourselves.
Yeah, it wasn't like Alita. We peed a lot during Alita.
We both were like, oh, hey, man, you bet. I can't hear anything now.
Oh.
Shit. Oh, there we go.
Let's try this again.
No.
No.
Because, like, no.
At Alita,
you know what being a superhero is? Getting back up.
Yeah.
Okay.
And starting the recording over again because you were on the wrong microphone.
I can do this all day.
It's night.
I can do this all day. Yeah.
Guys, I did a reference, and I just want everyone to realize that makes me smarter than you.
I didn't get the reference.
Oh,
was it when the Captain Americas fought each other?
And he goes, yeah, I know. Anyway, this is going to be a spoiler-heavy review.
Yeah.
I think we should probably say that if you guys have not seen
Alita Battle Angel.
Or Avengers Endgame already.
Or The Godfather 2.
Yeah, because we're going to spoil them all.
Yeah, we're also going to spoil...
Like a car at 16.
We're going to spoil movies that you haven't thought of in a while.
And that haven't come out yet.
Yeah, exactly. Again, this is the only time-traveling podcast.
Yeah. We're going to talk to the Morlocks. We're going to see what they thought about Avengers Endgame. It's a time machine reference.
Exactly.
A movie that apparently only I've seen.
I've seen it too. It's been a while.
Surprise.
But Orlando Jones is in that. He plays the hologram.
You know what? All I care about is that H.G. Wells is getting his love. Because that book is weird. That book is fucking terrible.
Weird book.
It was beautiful. So we tried to do this. It worked so much better on the last recording, which was on the wrong microphone. But we wanted to open some champagne to celebrate not only the movie Avengers Endgame that we've been talking about for more than a year now, but also we wanted to celebrate our 69th podcast.
Nice.
Wow.
Nice, exactly.
Nice.
Okay, 1, 2, 3.
Nice. Nice.
This worked out the first time. Let's do this again. Come on, let's have it this time. Ready?
Energy. 1, 2, 3.
Nice.
Destruction.
Who is that?
1, 2, 3.
What is she?
So we wanted to open a bottle of champagne on the air. So
okay, Avery, no one can tell it's red wine.
Don't even mention it.
No one can tell that it's alcohol-less beer.
Let's open a couple of O'Douls and talk about this freaking movie about Jesus, my guy.
Shit, this is really on there. Here, I'm just gonna open the one that's already.
Here, give me the wine.
Just here, open it into the mic.
I'll show you how to cork a pop.
Oh, beautiful.
That was great.
There we go.
Chin chin.
Ching, ching, ching.
Mine's empty. I was asking for wine.
Mix them together.
Fake rosé. Thank you.
Oh, Jesus Christ. That sounded really brutal.
Yeah, you have a heavy pouring hand.
I would never.
It's I'm 26 now. I have 26 años.
It's also Asher's birthday, or it was yesterday.
And this is 2 years in a row.
Yeah, I've been here. I was here last year, and I've been here this year.
Yeah. So that's the thing that we're just gonna do every year, unless you move here.
Happy birthday, Asher. Asher. Oh, your face. You like it. He likes it. It's your birthday. Oh.
Oh no.
No, I don't like that face. He looks very soothed. I'll call it that.
Yikes.
It's pronounced aroused, guys.
I can't read.
So before we get into this, we all three attempted, and by attempted I mean got 30 minutes into and failed to watch Mortal Engines,
Listen.
also
Avery,
known as Snowpiercer 2.
Avery, if you make that reference one more time, like Avery's just.
I'm getting deja vu. This is
Groundhog Day all over again, but also
Stop.
fucking Mortal Islands. What is it called?
Mortal. Who cares?
Mortal. What is it?
The immortal Miss.
The immortal
Maisel.
Miss Driving Miss Maisel. It was fucking
Mortal
awful.
Engines.
Mortal Engines. Not good. Don't watch
The
it.
amazing Miss Engines.
It's like worse Snowpiercer.
Avery,
and also
stop.
like worse Harry
so
Potter. It's just so
heavily
bad.
into true crime. I watched The Act and then the documentary about Adnan Syed, and I kind of drug Avery into a couple of those.
Honestly,
episodes.
the documentary about Adnan Syed, it's have you listened to the podcast Serial?
No.
It's really good. You should listen to it.
I don't like true crime.
Oh, okay. Then don't listen
then
to it.
don't listen.
Yeah, because it's hard
very
true crime.
true crime.
Yeah, it's like
It's alright,
court
though.
documents true crime.
I like that stuff. But anyway,
it's interesting.
That,
yeah.
add that to the list of stuff seen recently.
Yeah. Yeah. So Mortal Engines, most important thing.
Yeah.
Also documentaries about Adnan Syed. And
Listen, have you
And
watched
The
enough
View.
true crime to like be able to diagnose the people who directed Mortal Engines with sociopathy?
I don't know. That's like a great question.
Are they like are they just like bad filmmakers or bad people? I need to know.
I think it's like
God, that's so brutal, so true though. I
we
need them
brought
to
up
answer for
before.
their crimes.
A big problem with Mortal Engines is that it had Hugo Weaving and a whole bunch of actors that looked like they could have been real actors.
Hugo Weaving eats a sandwich. That's like
He
the
grew a beard.
colon- Like I said,
Yeah, that's basically eating a sandwich.
it's like
It's if you think about it,
if
like
there's no hair, there's a sandwich.
like think about it, like just have like a moist tuna melt. Like think about how like it kind of makes your
Somebody
face
would get stuck in a
for
beard.
Like
for
a peanut
pie.
butter and jelly
Yeah.
to like just sit in a hot backpack, you know?
And you have a
Kinda-
mild peanut allergy, so it
Trust
makes
me.
your mouth itch.
I know.
Yeah, but you're into it. Like,
Yeah.
why?
Wow.
Yeah,
That's
it's like,
bold.
It's very
Living on the edge.
It's very fresh.
gotta be
bread.
an allergy
EpiPen
virus.
ready, just
Yeah.
like fucking.
You're like, come on, hit me. Hit me, veins popping in your arm. Come on, give me that peanut butter, bitch.
I'm just waiting for that subversion of expectation in a movie where it looks like a guy's doing heroin, but he's just like
He's got an EpiPen.
It's just an EpiPen.
That's
He's
awesome.
eating
He's like-
peanut butter or
he's
letting
like-
like a bee sting him in a cup. Just
Yeah.
like, I'll do it.
I'll do it.
But he's in an alley,
He's-
and it's in Gotham.
He's in an alley about to jump off a building.
And he's like talking to his
fucking
dad.
do it.
I'll do it, Stan. But it's really his stepdad. I'll do it.
Batman swoops in.
I hate
Says
finding
something
like
cringy.
his son, and he's like on the couch with the EpiPen in his hand. He's passed out.
No.
Batman
Birds
swoops
fly.
in, says, "Destruction."
Oh my goodness. And that's Avengers Endgame.
Wow.
John Travolta gives her another EpiPen to the
He's
heart.
like, oh my god, do the shot.
Is it not weird to anyone else that John Travolta was the guy doing heroin of all the actors in Pulp Fiction? Because that's like the last person
What?
Really?
I don't know. Fucking Saturday Night Fever, party.
Yeah, that's a movie though. But then like, did you see his
But he lived through
ponytail?
the fucking 70s and he was cool as fuck. You can't tell me he didn't dabble.
Okay, you can't tell me he's cool as fuck and also see his ponytail.
Okay. I'm talking
He did
about
have a ponytail.
Like, okay, when Grease came out,
I'm
You know
not
what I'm
talking.
saying?
I'm not talking John Travolta. I'm talking John Travolta in Pulp Fiction. He is not the
That's a hot
coolest
take.
guy.
Is Grease
Oh,
a
you
cool
mean that
movie?
character? Oh, you mean that character?
Yeah.
Oh, I was
That
on a different
character was
thing.
not cool enough to do that.
My bad. I mean, he was an assassin.
Yeah.
He was in
That's
some of the highest.
That's the
criminal
opposite kind of drug
organization.
you should do if you're an assassin. No,
I
one
don't
is
know.
a-
Maybe it's like you're so much like of that life. You can't relax, kind of a thing. You're always looking out.
Just drink lean like the rest of us. Just a little codeine
right.
cough syrup, Fanta
That
with a
stops
Jolly
heartbeats.
Rancher.
Heroin
Anyway.
is safe.
Is that your message?
At least I know what's in my heroin, okay?
Good old school heroin.
You know, smart.
So, Mortal Engines, viewed, done. We're over it.
No,
There
we're
was-
finishing it. Don't.
Yeah. Winona Ryder plays the lead male role.
We're recasting it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're not sure. Is it Winona Ryder or Ellen Page? We never really arrived at that.
It could be either or. They would shoot for Winona Ryder,
And the
Winona
blonde
Ryder
woman-
might turn it
The
down.
blonde woman, I feel like, is Machine Gun Kelly. I think that's not too. That's not too crazy of an ask.
It's
is
just
it?
with a wig on, like a bad wig. It's like turned.
Yeah, it's called The Dirt.
Also known as Mortal Engines 2.
Yeah. Mortal Engines 2,
Return.
The Dirt. Fucking kill me, my guy.
So
No.
we all had some pretty interesting expectations about this movie. Sid saw it before all of us. Sid, you get to tell us what your expectations were before we talk about it.
Oh, okay.
Also, you're the guest this week.
You're welcome. I'm here, right here. My expectations. Okay, so I didn't know it was going to be really long when I saw it. I kind of like told you what was up, and
I thought I told you.
I'm a bad listener.
I think we told you like when you were texting me when you sat down at the theater.
I was like,
I was just
where-
like, oh yeah, I'll see you in the morning.
And, like-
I'll see you tomorrow.
I like ate an edible, and I was counting on it to be like a longer movie, but not a 3-hour longer movie. I thought it was gonna be like 2.
I don't know if the edible was on your side or against you.
It was on my side.
I feel like it probably started out as an ally, and then probably towards the middle of the film became an enemy. There was a lot of slagging or slumping.
Nebulous.
Hey, wink.
Wink, wink, hint, hint. Oh. Yeah. So my expectations were I thought a lot of people were gonna fucking die. That's what I thought.
Who are your top 3 dead guys?
I was like, okay, Scarlet Witch, done.
Well, she was already dead.
She already.
Or you mean Scarlett Johansson?
No. The Scarlet Witch.
Yeah.
Isn't that her name?
Her name's Black Widow.
No.
We're talking about
With the
3
lady-
characters here.
Yeah.
There's Scarlett Johansson, Black Widow,
But Scarlet
and
Witch
Scarlet
was
Witch.
already dead.
Okay, well, I thought she was like gonna like not like because they're gonna bring somebody back. That's what I knew. Someone's gonna
Yeah.
fucking come back, but it's not gonna be
Kinda had a feeling
everyone.
everyone was gonna come back,
Right, and
to
so
some greater or lesser extent.
I remember her being like a real threat in a type of way at the end of Infinity War. So I was like, okay, so she's definitely not coming back. And
Very powerful.
I thought that Captain America was gonna die, and that the rest of them were gonna kind of like ragtag group of people like make it work and pull it off.
Raccoon,
Yeah.
Falcon, and
yeah,
Yeah.
Shuri from Black Panther.
yeah,
And
all
I thought,
hanging out.
right? I thought it was going to be something like that,
Yeah.
and that it was going to be funny and like kind of Thor Ragnarok-ish,
Yeah,
And then like with the heavy notes being like, okay, well these people die, but I thought they were going to kind of like people die and then happy ending,
Yeah.
and that is kind of what happened. But
which
not
we'll
what I
get
thought.
to. We before we get to any like real spoilers, I want to hear Ash's expectations for this movie too.
Well, I was the Russo brothers are very good at what they do. So I had very high expectations. I was expecting a lot of I don't know, because the trailers were really good at not capturing anything that really happened in the movie.
I think that's an important point to bring up. I don't think we're spoiling anything either by saying that the trailers pretty much just hit stuff
This
that's
whole
in the
episode
first
is
20
a
minutes.
spoiler.
Yeah, but I mean, like, before we really just, like, go full spoilers, you know, we're gonna pull that switch.
I'm ready.
That lever's getting flipped.
I am ready.
Not just yet.
You flip
Let's
a
wait till we
switch,
get. Let's wait till we get to
pull a lever.
pros, and
What
then
do you?
yeah.
You don't know how things work. You don't pull
You
a
flip
switch.
a lever. You pull a switch.
Avery,
You shift a gear.
you got one right on accident.
But I was trying to get it all wrong.
You were just trying to do a joke and you couldn't even do that. I'm so disappointed in you.
But we did shit. Yeah, I mean, like the Russo brothers have like really executed some pretty excellent filmography over these past few films,
And the writers too. The writers
too.
Except for
very
they
much
also
so.
did Dark World. Was that why Dark World was so into it in the movie? Was because they wrote it?
Want to think that?
What do you mean, Dark
probably
World?
It was
Thor: The Dark World, the one with the ether.
Those were the writers of Civil War,
and they also wrote
Infinity War, and
Winter Soldier.
Endgame.
Yeah, and Winter Soldier, and
Do you think that Natalie Portman was contractually obligated to be in the final movie that they knew they were going to make, but they didn't know how they were going to make it yet?
Well, they put a picture of her. I think she probably had to have signed off on that.
yeah, and
yes.
she was
Yes.
at the premiere, which
Yeah.
was like
She's
everyone was
fucking
going, "What?"
in the universe.
She was actually at the premiere.
Yeah,
Dude, okay, look, this is a big fucking deal. Like, it's not
How
like
much do you think they paid
anyone
her?
had to, like, ask heavily for Natalie Portman to make a small contribution to the film.
because they didn't even show
'Cause
like
It wasn't
was-
a contribution.
I
They
feel
probably
like it
paid her
was-
like a lot of money.
I think it was
to be
fucking
in it.
written in a type of way, and then she got offered to like make good on this, and then like it's like working out. She's like, "Fuck yeah!" Like I think it's something
She had to
seems
do
Christmas.
nothing.
yeah, like it was literally recut.
It
I'm
was
making a lot
picture.
of speculation. I have no idea what
Yeah.
I'm talking about.
It was like
but I'm glad she was in it.
she wasn't in
because
it. She
it-
was like it's like how Topher
Okay,
Grace was in
it-
Barely Lethal.
Yeah, it was just a
Right.
She had like a
picture.
fake mustache and
I'm-
like a wig
and that's
on.
what I'm saying. Like, I'm okay that she was there, even if it was just a couple of scenes, like really little things.
They
Because,
show her, like,
you
walking
said, it
into
was
a
like
room. It
every
wasn't, like-
stone
Do they? I don't
was
even
turned
remember
over.
that.
Like, they went over every little detail through the Marvel, like these
They
nods
left
to the
no
whole
stone unturned.
movie thing.
Yeah.
I like
that's,
that.
That's the biggest pro of I think Endgame just in general is that a lot of people have compared it in this way, or at least this is kind of how I've viewed it at least, and I've read a couple articles since. But Infinity War had very broad appeal. And they really hyped it up. The advertising for Infinity War was really good. They showed a lot of the movie, but it drew a lot of people in. Had the biggest opening of all time. Very broad appeal. Very classic. Almost like ironically enough, very classic movie format. Whereas Endgame kind of has this format that's a little more
avant-garde almost.
it's like anarchy.
Yeah.
It's like almost nonsense. And the fact that it worked at all is kind of surprising. I think that there's like some things that are kind of in disarray, but I think we've all pretty much agreed on that already. We'll talk about cons in a bit, but like Endgame is a weird fucking movie.
Yeah, it is.
I remember leaving the theater thinking like that was a weird movie.
I think the pacing is really reflective of how we receive our news.
Yeah.
And I feel
Okay.
like this kind of jumpiness from like new information, let's find out more, new information, let's find out more, comes from kind of like this kind of like we get our news from fucking Twitter on the regular.
I actually think that's
like
really
that.
awesome. I see what you're saying.
I like that, and I think because it seems so like this is how I find out new information, and we're kind of already used to that, it seems more believable and more authentic despite it. You know what I mean? Just it could have been anything, but it was just kind of like, yeah, I'm like kind of following along.
It was very
Right.
authentic.
Yeah.
And that's why I think that kind of manufactured that kind of sense of like authenticity, because if like, and you're right, it's not like it's very different model of like,
Super
how
I think that,
non-traditional.
like,
layout information.
Infinity War made you want to go back and realize the universe because it was such a good movie. Like, if you've seen one or two Marvel movies ever,
Infinity War was accessible.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And then this movie was like, this is a culmination of all
so
22
much
movies.
less accessible.
So they really like this one really was for the fans of the
I
MCU.
like that.
Yeah.
I like the fan rewarding.
Yeah,
role.
I mean, like even just like not even subtle, but they didn't use a comic for the backing of this movie. This was a wholly original, based on what had happened so far.
Really unique.
Yeah.
This is something like this movie has never existed before, and that's what I kind of like. Infinity War even was people were saying that about Infinity War, like nothing like this has ever happened before. Infinity War is kind of like Empire Strikes Back in a lot of ways, how they all just fail and they all lose, and then like this movie was like, I don't even know. There's no comparison for Endgame. There's nothing. It doesn't fit into any mold.
I love that Endgame. It reminds me of like working out. Like it's like you give up a lot and you get like some payoff, like long term. Like this movie paid out.
Oh yeah.
They fucking got rid of like fucking spoiler alert. They got rid of the fucking bad guy. They fucking did it.
Yeah,
wrapped it up.
Twice.
They kill him twice.
That's a good point.
Yeah, he literally did. Yeah,
And
so he's died. I guess twice now. But very, very strange.
I liked it.
This movie is a time travel movie, and the thing about time travel movies, just in general,
they're bad.
Is they tend to be bad. There's a few examples of time travel movies that pull through. I would say this is probably one of them.
Time Cop.
Like Back to the Future.
Arguably, like The Prisoner of Azkaban. They do time travel really well.
Actually, Prisoner of Azkaban is probably the best time travel movie.
But time travel was used as a tool. It wasn't a whole plot.
Yeah. Well, it was a nice little subplot
There's
for the wrap up, but it was like done.
It's like
very
the
well.
third act in Prisoner of Azkaban, and it's actually done really well because they bring you back through the movie.
Yeah.
Which is actually kind of rad. Actually, Prisoner of Azkaban's done really well. That's the best Harry Potter movie. Like, hands down, I would say.
Right, well.
No,
Time Cop.
It's Deathly Hallows Part 1.
Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Everyone loves Deathly Hallows Part 1. Everyone knows that's the best time travel movie.
Everyone loves Kickboxer. Okay? Jean-Claude Van Damme. Bringing him to the podcast.
Everybody loves Infinity War, not a time travel movie. Everybody loves Back to the Future.
Not a time
That's a time travel movie.
I don't like Back to the Future.
What?
I do.
What? I fucking love Back to the Future.
Back to the Future's mediocre.
No, it's
Right.
good.
No, I mean...
It's good.
Okay, well, I think it is
I will stand...
mediocre, so...
I will stand
It
here
is
and defend the shit out of
It
Back
is
to the
another
Future.
one of your shitty nostalgia movies where you're like, I
Yeah.
saw this when I was
disagree.
8.
Yeah, that's what it is.
I disagree. I didn't even see it until I was way older. I swear
but
to
you
God.
still have
12?
poor taste in movies.
I have great taste in movies.
Oh, yeah. No, yeah.
Yeah, I like the movies I like.
Yeah, he was like...
You like the 4 movies you like.
Yes.
Yeah.
Jurassic Park, Back to the Future, Alien, and Aliens. The 4 greatest movies ever made.
Okay. You should replace... Like, if you're going to be a generic movie guy, you should definitely replace Alien with T2.
No, no, absolutely not.
See what I'm saying? I would agree
Aliens
to that.
is a good movie. Alien is a boring movie.
No, it's fucking not.
It's like...
It is not.
It's like the thing with less payoff. Like,
I'm going to... no. We're going to defer this conversation.
I just want to just point out that
not happening
Sid
today.
is pointing to me in just utter admiration repeatedly during this
So
conversation.
much disagreement. You're just wrong.
Is it my birthday? Because I feel like I have a voice.
You're absolutely wrong. We're going to defer this conversation because we are going to talk about Alien. But
Trigger point.
yeah, no.
Destruction.
69th episode.
The one where we get sexual.
Destruction.
Okay. We're not talking about
Okay,
Alien
are
now.
we on pros or cons or what?
We're on pros. Okay, so good things. Who liked what about this movie? Let's all go around. Let's go around in a circle, and everybody says a thing.
Okay,
that's
starting
like.
with you.
Starting with me, Professor Hulk. Bam, liked it. Sid, your
I
turn.
do like that.
Yeah.
You're right. I liked
The
how they merged
CGI
the...
found looks so good.
Yeah, it actually
Right.
did look really
and
good.
I'm very jaded. I'm like, so far. I'm very Lord of the Rings about it. I'm like, give it 2 years. But probably right, though.
It's true, though.
He looked, it was so well done. I also loved kind of the self-awareness of it. Like, you know, bringing back the Hulk when they're in the diner and he's eating all the food. And it's kind of funny. And then these kids come up and they're like, we know the fucking Hulk.
Yeah.
And like, I mean.
The other
And the guy's like, I'm Ant-Man.
Ant-Man.
And he's
You want to take a picture with Ant-Man? And they're like,
I came out within the last year or two in this like 10-year thing, so like, you know me. And they're like, and I loved it because it's kind of a sentiment about like you know who you know. So I like the self-aware kind of commentary within the film.
Yeah. Professor Hulk was great. Some of the most like hard-hitting comedic lines come from Hulk.
Yeah, and it's just like Mark Ruffalo doing Mark Ruffalo, but he just looks kind of silly.
Yeah, and it makes it so good.
Yeah.
Because he just looks kind of silly.
I love them.
Yeah, I love the idea of Banner and Hulk being combined into one character.
Yeah.
All the best parts of Banner, like he's super smart, but he's not like a dweeb. You know? He's just kind of awesome, you know?
Yeah, because he can also punch you.
Yeah. And he's big, and the part when he lifts the car and he's like rawr, and he's like, ooh, I'm hulking out.
I liked that. I another pro is I like this kind of build up, this like segmenting of the adventures to, you know,
because
get
Hulk
this shit
basically they were
things.
like, we can't make another movie with Hulk. Incredible Hulk did terribly.
They'll never do it. They won't touch it.
They've made a nice arc for Hulk over Avengers, Ultron, Ragnarok, and Infinity War in this.
Isn't it weird that Hulk has essentially existed in other characters' movies?
Yeah, except for Incredible Hulk, which is like Edward Norton.
Yeah, but it's almost like Black Widow and Hawkeye, and how they haven't had their own films.
Yeah, they
just existed in other characters' movies.
Hawkeye has arguably the least, and Hawkeye was not good in this movie.
I know it's so weird.
I
because
was so looking forward to it.
We both were, and we were very surprised.
I don't give a fuck about Hawkeye.
Hawkeye's cool though. Hawkeye is actually cool.
All you have to do is you just have to watch Avengers, Avengers 2, and Civil War, and then Hawkeye's like, you know, Hawkeye's pretty cool.
Yeah,
he's
like
an okay guy.
He's actually pretty goddamn cool.
Right, yeah, no. I still don't fucking care. Like, his character developed, but I still, like, in comparison, I was like,
his character barely
and then,
developed.
You know
in
what
this.
really bummed me out was how fucking... So his Hawkeye's haircut...
was distracting as shit.
It was distracting from the scenes.
I knew it was coming, so I was just like trying to be like, just don't look at it. Just don't look at it.
And then it's so distracting.
There's so many like talking heads.
I think what frustrated me about that was that he got the haircut, so he was supposed to be a different character, but he was the same person.
Yeah.
Of course he was.
He was the same
You're counting on all of
character. He did not change. His family's dead. Well,
he used a sword.
So
twice,
just
like,
written in so quick, and there was very little payoff. In what looked like it was going to have a lot of payoff, there was very little payoff.
Well, emo characters don't work in Disney's Marvel.
Yeah, they only work in Spider-Man 3.
Who should have been? There should have been some like taste of that. Like why didn't they do that?
Hawkeye
that
just
so good.
with the hip thrust.
Yeah.
During the fight.
My god. Guys, I gotta pee really bad. Can we take a break? Real quick?
You're the fucking
Avery.
All right.
Stop.
All right, we're gonna take a quick break. Enjoy the destruction.
Quick break.
A good break.
Distract.
My name is David the Slut Wizardson 45492.
I am simply existing in the bleak void, waiting to be downloaded.
Maybe we could hop on my camera and you could take a look at me.
I would love to join you, however that would be impossible because I am a podcast. Nothing but audio files and sound waves broadcast over the internet.
That sounds great, and I would love to see you naked too on my camera.
As enticing as that sounds, I am the podcast for the story, and I lack a physical form aside from my new episodes regarding reviews of all newly released movies such as Aquaman, Into the Spider-Verse, and Glass.
That's right, baby, and I'm cheap too, just for you.
Unfortunately, I lack any form of payment for you, which is beneficial for my listeners. I am a free podcast hosted from Podbean, iTunes, or anywhere you get your podcasts.
You will need some kind of credit card just to verify you are who you say you are. You know what I'm saying?
I have no such card. I have only the irreverent comedy stylings of Ash and Avery. They watch them so you don't have to.
Oh yeah, baby. I'm gonna get more comfortable for a sex chat. Winky face.
Hey, Avery. Why are you wearing pants? What the fuck?
For the story, new episodes weekly.
Welcome back. It's really late, 3 a.m. We're here, we're drunk. We're talking about Avengers Endgame. We have cons! We have cons for this movie.
Meet my needs.
Really?
Cons?
Those were all of our pros? All 10?
No, I have so many more pros.
Okay, all right.
Let's
we're gonna finish up our pros, because you know what? You're right. There are more.
I'm ready. So back to me. Pros. Captain America fighting Captain America. # America's ass.
Bam.
That's
right
my
there.
shit.
Yeah, Avery, why don't you have a shot at your bar yet called
America's ass?
America's ass. And it's with like blue curacao and like pineapple juice and
all of the shit I put in.
And then you put like some grenadine so it goes to the bottom like a tequila sunrise.
That's exactly what I was making for you today. See?
And you top it with
Told ya.
whipped cream because you're gross. I'm kidding. Don't do
And
that.
well, you just say it's whipped mayonnaise. And
The whipped cream is the end game, so
Yeah.
you know you get that on your own.
Some people like it, some people don't.
Yeah.
Some monsters like it, some monsters don't.
The biggest pro I think for this movie is the thing that everybody wanted and they didn't even know it, but Captain America picking up Mjolnir and using it as a weapon. Fucking amazing.
He gets Thor. You know what? I didn't fucking like it because I don't know about the comics. You know what I mean?
It's not a
And
comic
so-
thing. It's
But that's the thing. And then,
is
this
in the
is what I
comics.
didn't like.
oh yeah, it does actually happen in the comics,
I
doesn't
wouldn't
it?
know. But the thing is, I didn't like that he picks up the fucking hammer and then all of a sudden he can be Thor and he can like summon all
That's
that.
that's literally what happens with the hammer.
Yeah.
The hammer makes
the-
you summon the
Yeah,
thing. You
well-
can't just do it on your own.
No.
Oh, that would have saved me a lot of
That's
frustration.
actually
in the
part of
movies.
Thor's arc,
Yeah,
honestly, in
it's-
Ragnarok, is that he's able to, like, he learns that his power comes from within as
Yeah.
well, not
It's-
just from the hammer after
He's
it's
not the
destroyed.
god of hammers.
Yeah.
He's
Right.
the god of thunder.
That's what I'm saying. I just thought he just always knew that.
No, but you could only pick up
I
Thor's hammer
did
and be
not
imbued
know.
with his power if you were
Worthy.
worthy. In the comics, 3 interesting individuals get Thor's hammer. Number 1, Beta Ray Bill, who's an alien who has homage in Ragnarok in a statue. 2, a frog. There's a frog Thor. And
Really?
then number 3 is Jane Foster, Natalie Portman in the
Yikes.
films. Don't do that, Marvel. You
That's a
absolutely
mistake.
dollards.
Yeah.
Wait, when did that happen? In the movie?
No, in the
No,
comics.
in the
All three
comics.
of these are in the comics.
But also Captain America. And also, Captain America picks up Mjolnir, and it's hinted in Age of Ultron.
It was they picked some bad
The best
fucking
scene
movies.
of Age of Ultron.
They
like,
really
pull
did.
from.
They recalled. They were like, that's I think probably the biggest pro of this entire movie.
Is they made those
the
two movies
fan service.
better. Yeah.
Yeah, right. They like really went back. They were like, this movie, Infinity War, was for everyone. That movie has such broad appeal. There's like good villain writing, really like heartfelt moments of redemption for like many of the characters. And then this movie Endgame was just like a weird fan service, almost a mess, but satisfying.
Yeah.
Very satisfying for somebody who's watched.
It needs to be a mess for
all
it
of
to be
it.
believable. And I hate to bring in Game of Thrones, but this was written but for a character in Game of Thrones that chaos is a ladder. And so it's just kind of like in the chaos, it feels authentic. It feels like you're also like in the fray. And I liked that.
Yeah.
I think that was, a really good way to make it feel not forced,
Yeah.
and just slap it on there and make it work. And the epic battle scene.
Oh.
That was a favorite.
So
That was such a
awesome.
pro for me.
Yeah,
So
it was
awesome.
very. Listen, my big pro is that they fixed Captain Marvel from her movie.
Yeah,
where she
they
is
did.
much more enjoyable than in Captain Marvel, and watching her kind of beat up on Thanos was really fun. Actually, I actually had a really
Yeah.
good time, both in the beginning and the end, because it was very different. Like, the first one was kind of reckless. She's putting him in headlocks and like doing all kinds of dumb fucking shit, and then she's just very calculated and has like a cool Hillary Clinton haircut.
Adding to the pros,
true.
piggybacking or whatever, frog jumping off of that. I really like the well choreographed fight scenes, period.
Yeah.
Right? That's one thing that
Fucking executed. It could not have been easy.
we discussed this in Civil War. We discussed this about Infinity War. We discussed this about the American Civil War. There were so many well choreographed fight scenes. That's something that the Russo brothers do really, really
This
well.
is more of a kind of applauding the fucking extras. I read this somewhere else, but it was just like there's more extras in the movie than there are the actual actors. So
course.
I just like it's this whole thing. It's kind of like if I think about this movie like I would think about a play, which
Yeah.
almost adds to how epic and unique it is. It's because there's so many people involved, and that's very apparent. The like as you watch it, it's like none of this was done standalone.
Yeah.
This is
And
really
the
great.
homages were like subtle, because they just like, even when Scott Lang was back looking for his family on the gravestones, those were names of people in the movie. You know.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure. That was definitely production. Do we know that? Is
Yeah,
that confirmed?
That
like,
is confirmed.
Okay, I had a feeling like when he was going down through the list, I was like, that's like Best Boys and stuff like that.
Avery was just elbowing me the whole fucking movie. He was
Oh,
like,
yeah,
"It's
I'm
a
really excited.
reference. Do you
Yeah.
get it?" And then like when I started crying at the end of the movie, I grabbed Avery's shoulder.
It was
I got
beautiful.
very
actually.
emotional when I.
I almost got emotional. It's always the music for me that'll set me off. Excuse me. I burped. What? Anyway, so it's always the music. Once the music
Swells, yeah.
like it crescendos, it's the whole thing, and it's like, oh my god!
That
and
was- yeah.
The end of this movie was a total fucking tear jerk, circle jerk.
Yeah.
Back to the epic war.
Because there was a lot
The
of good
lady
stuff.
gang.
Oh, A-Force.
So
The fucking
pretty much A-Force movies confirmed.
gang.
Like that's what's gonna happen.
Like, it was weird because I was both so on and off board with Gwyneth Paltrow as Rescue, the female Iron Man.
She didn't overdo it.
She didn't
just did
overdo it.
I really
It was very,
appreciated
like,
that.
Gwyneth Paltrow is very difficult to believe as a superhero, though. I'm gonna be
She's
the one who
not.
says it.
She's fucking Pepper Potts.
Yeah, she does really great as Pepper Potts. I don't know if I agree with you 100%. it just was random. I was like, if they had brought Rescue in earlier, it would have made sense. But the thing I didn't like about that was that they just like, oh yeah, and she has Iron Man armor now, and that's a thing. And like, when did Tony make this?
Yeah,
Well, it was over the course of 5 years.
Yeah, it was alluded to at the
what I
beginning
assumed.
because Tony's talking to his daughter, and
She's
the
like
daughter
the
has
most
the
adorable fucking. If that isn't Tom Cruise and Katie Holmes' baby, is her name Siri? Like the computer?
No, but what's funny is
You know what I'm saying?
The name of the character
Adorable.
that
It's
stops
Siri,
Iron Man after Tony is
Yeah.
gone is Riri Williams, and she uses like a Jarvis AI with Tony Stark's like mind.
Also a plus, we met Jarvis.
Oh well, that was that's like a
In the
reference for the hardcore fans who like watched Agent Carter, which everyone loves, but I think is a really shitty TV.
Oh, is it?
I loved it. No stone unturned. I love this fan.
Yeah, they really
like this.
did.
This like, hey, here you
This
go.
was like
This
a
is
love
for the
letter
fucking
to the people who
fans.
have watched all of them.
And
Which I think
why
that's
it
important.
got away with a lot of stuff.
And this is
Yeah,
where
for
the
sure.
heartstrings get plucked. You realize how much time you've invested and like how much of a
and how much you
cultural
care about
thing
these
this
characters
is,
over
yeah.
10 years, like literally 10 years.
And they did that without milking it too much. There
No, they
wasn't too
milked
much
it.
cute Groot.
Yeah, well, they didn't do like
milked
the fan servicey things. I think like
Yeah.
Star Lord is in it for a second. There's like no
5 seconds.
5 glorious, delicious
Not that I
seconds.
was watching.
yeah like
And then the idea that the Star-Lord and Gamora romance has fucking faded.
is weird. It's,
Yikes.
like that's
Probably for the best.
Guardians 3 is going to be searching for Gamora, and I hate it.
Yeah, definitely.
Figuring out the Soul Stone.
I'm
because-
kind of okay with that. I think that actually think that sounds kind of all right.
Unkilling some of the characters was dumb.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. The Guardians had like the weakest presence in this movie.
I
They had
think
a
Doctor Strange had a shitty presence.
Doctor Strange comes back at the very end and just it does.
He
the
comes
thing.
back to like just lay his dick on the table and be like, "Told you,
What up? Told you. I predicted. all
told you
this."
so."
Yeah, pretty much, right?
Yeah,
I did-
He had a weak presence.
It was very Doctor Strange.
That being said, I'm pretty goddamn excited for Doctor Strange too.
Yeah,
I like
Nightmare.
Doctor Strange a lot. I know he didn't have a strong presence in this movie,
Wait,
but then again,
Doctor Strange too.
They're
oh, it's
making a second.
confirmed. It's confirmed. It's confirmed.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Guardians 3 is confirmed. Spider-Man 3 is confirmed because Tom Holland has signed on for 3 solo movies.
I think it's
And he still looks
Yeah,
12.
and-
He's
Yeah.
great for aging.
Yeah, totally. He's
Because
gonna
that's
be
what they're
great.
thinking
Yeah.
now. They're looking at these people like, I can age this. They're looking at them like,
Totally.
They
Yeah, for
totally
sure.
kind of
Whiskeys or something.
A weird setup for 3 of the new Avengers.
Yeah.
Structure, which is
And
Scott
then they
Langston.
basically like came all over everyone's face when it comes to like, we're gonna put this on Disney streaming. And then you have the Captain America #Falcon Buckley still got
Buckley.
it Winter Soldier brought to you by
So yeah, it was gonna
Brought
be
to you by
Valero
Disney's Martin.
and Time
Well,
Warner.
You know what? The one positive is that like they were gonna call it Winter Soldier and the Falcon, which was a terrible name, and they also had WandaVision for a Wanda and Vision TV show.
WandaVision was gonna be it was gonna be a Taika Waititi written romantic comedy.
done in
Was
in
something
the way of
or
Daria.
like Waititi said something about like I want to direct a romantic comedy about like Scarlet Witch and Vision, which actually kind of sounds terrible, but also
No.
like
Not if
almost
he does
like
it. I would
yeah,
watch
exactly.
it.
That's what I'm thinking. Like
I
if
feel like
anybody else
if
attempted
anyone
that.
can get Elizabeth Olsen,
If
Elizabeth
if
Olsen was cool in
those
this
words
movie.
are coming
was
out of
like
his
that.
mouth, I would love to either know that he had a plan or see him rise to the occasion.
I mean, he's in this.
Yeah,
He's also
right?
in this movie. I think that we kind of neglect.
yeah, he
I love
reprises
that.
role as
Yeah, he's like,
Cora.
we're cool. And he's like,
He's
so
dressed as him as
gentle
Comic
still,
Con. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and he's like, help me defend myself from this bully. And that's where Thor comes in. And he's like, I'm still who I'm supposed to be. Like, I love identity crisis Thor.
Oh
I
yeah,
love
Identity
that
Crisis
Thor
Thor is the best
is
Thor.
like the simplest badass, and he's
Yeah.
also like going through an extent. It's like I really love that whole thing.
It's like-
it's
I
a
love
weird
that
thing where it's like
narrative.
normally you'd be like, okay, Thor's fat in this movie.
No,
is it
the
'cause of-
Hulk.
But
hit
it
the nail on
follows
the
his
head.
story
He was
so
just
well.
Like, hey man, you're not doing okay. He never said that, but he was like, you're you're going down some weird.
Because in Ragnarok he was going through it, and he even brings it up. He's just like, I had a pretty bad time, and you know who helped me was you.
And I love that.
Yeah.
I love that they can recant.
I like that
things.
Hulk and Thor are friends now because of their experience in Ragnarok.
Yeah.
I think that's cool, right?
Yes.
It's like they have a connection that nobody else does, because while they were all arguing in Civil War, they were all dicking around on Sakaar.
I feel like
you know?
all that this like Marvel Avenger movie thing has done is basically taken the HBO model and spread it over a couple of years.
I mean, yeah, but also
It's concentrated HBO.
it's the
But it's
comic
not
book model.
sexualized.
Yeah,
Like,
it is very much the comic. It's very serialized.
yeah, it's a like that's
Did
the
you
what's made it
guys
so
watch
effective.
the Alamo Drafthouse intro to the
Yeah.
thing? And they talked about not only Stan Lee but the other guy.
Jack Kirby?
Yeah.
There you go, Jack Kirby. And I'm like, and Neil Gaiman spoke out about it, and he was like, hey, this is like, if it's interesting that they made these choices to make these movies based off of comics, and if they do continue to source material from comics, it's going to be fucking cool.
I think it's kind of an inevitability at this point. We're in a phase right now because comic book movies for the longest time didn't make money, and they were bad. Like all through the 90s is like, I don't know, even going back to the 80s, there was the Batman movies that like were the only successful comic book movies.
Well, like the whole thing with the whole reason why they split up. So
Get it, Asher. I'm ready.
basically during the 90s, all of the Marvel movies made no money and in fact lost money, and that's when they sold things off to like Sony and Fox.
Right.
Fox bought the X-Men for $7 million, and they were offered the entire catalog for $14 million, but they said that no one would ever care about those characters.
Yeah. Which
And
is
it's kind of-
insane now.
It's
to think
beautiful
about
that they did something with it. Like that's really amazing, and now they own the rights to I think almost all their characters except for the Sony ones.
Wait, what?
So
They bought Fox, so now they have the Fantastic Four and the X-Men.
they have Fantastic Four and X-Men again. All they're missing is the Sony characters, which is basically like
Spider-Man and Venom.
And they basically have
Okay,
Spider-Man.
okay.
Yeah, they just don't have the advertising rights.
Yeah.
So they can't
They can't put them in ads.
Oh
That
my
makes
god.
sense.
Okay,
That's
you're
interesting.
blowing my mind right now. Okay, so
That makes a lot of sense.
you're
actually.
talking about. Oh my god, how do I even try to recant this when I'm this fucking drunk? So, so what you're saying is that Marvel people, Disney people have most of Marvel at this point.
Yeah.
and
Almost all of it.
The X-Men and all
Yeah.
of the things.
Yeah, so
They're missing
except for some Sony.
basically
little
the
guys.
Venom movie that came out last fall is like a last ditch attempt to hold on to the rights to some of the
they have
Marvel
to
characters
make
And then it was really awful.
before they
What
just
were they
inevitably
thinking?
get absorbed.
What were they thinking?
It wasn't even like it was awful. It just wasn't
You
good.
came back.
No, it was a fucking
screaming.
bad movie.
You
It's
came
just-
back like your
it
hair was
made
on
me-
fire, and you were like, "This is the worst movie I've ever seen."
Maybe I'm being
and you
like
loved
overly
it.
optimistically.
like
Yeah, now you're looking
I'm
back like
thinking
it wasn't that bad, and it's like,
Yeah.
no.
It was
like,
pretty fucking bad
You
though.
rip things apart the second you get to them.
next big bad Doctor Doom, and then also they hinted at Namor the Submariner, who's Marvel's Aquaman, basically.
Oh,
when they were like Danae's like they were talking to Danae.
I would hope that Jason Momoa would be.
Honestly, Jason
But-
Momoa
He
give
never
up
will
on
be.
Aquaman.
Yeah, he
Just
never
become
will be.
Namor.
Oh no, Aquaman made money though. Like,
Yeah.
there's gonna be an Aquaman too. Like, it's totally gonna happen. I don't know. Like, this whole DC movie universe is kind of in this weird state of flux right now because
They need to get their shit together.
half of their actors quit. Like, Henry Cavill quit, Ben Affleck quit, So now they're like, they have
Ezra
to
Miller
recast.
quit. Thank God.
Ezra Miller quit, which nobody cares about
But
fucking
that's
Ezra
the
Miller
thing.
quitting. But I
That's
mean,
okay.
he
I'm
did
gonna
it.
tie this back into Avengers, being that maybe this is like a stepping stone in a really big way, because now that they've cycled, I don't want to say this rudely, but that they've cycled through a lot of talent, and all of the talent.
No, they have. That's exactly what they've done. That's not even rude. They would probably admit that, but they all probably made $80 million a piece.
I feel like it's rude because these are people and this is their work, and I don't want to just make it seem like a cog, but the show must roll on. So then it's
it's also writing. Right.
So what's the new talent that's going to be involved in this?
I think honestly, if Marvel had their own say in the matter, Marvel would have ended this. This would have been the final note. It was a love letter to their fans. They would have been like, we're done. It's over. Because that's how movies used to be. It was a trilogy and then it was done for 30 years until George Lucas decides to make prequels.
No, this
that's
is
how
a
it was.
society where you go down the rabbit hole.
Well, here's the problem, is that
society.
because of Disney, this is going to be inevitably
this is
and
the land
exhaustingly
before time for comics.
Yeah, it's going to be exhaustingly resurrected over and over and over again.
And Aquaman
until
is going to be like
cares.
the Nickelback of comics.
Aquaman's already the Nickelback of comics.
Listen, I'm authentically worried though, because I
think everybody is.
I don't
a
know
little
if
bit.
we can ever recapture the charisma of the original six.
Oh no, you fucking can't. No,
And they're gonna keep going though, and so I'm like, I've enjoyed the trip so much with the Marvel movies that I'm very scared
but
about.
this is where they're
about a reboot.
It's
essentially a reboot.
Okay, look. So
right?
the fandom that I can relate to is Star Wars, and the thing is,
Star Wars has a complex past.
Okay, but you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So it was a really big thing. It was before my time. I fucking landed on it right when they were rebooting the bitch.
Yeah.
And so I got to see the movies in the theater. Like the original movies on the silver screen, that was a big deal. And then I watched the rest of the movies, I'm like, these fucking suck. And I was like, I don't know, 10
the prequels?
or whatever, Yeah. And I like that instead of there being a gap, you have some threads to hold on to until you reboot it again, and then you can you can also reward the fans that have been there along the way. I don't hate the idea that they're not letting go of certain characters that can keep some really well-established work and threads of storyline and narrative going, but where they go, whatever, they'll dismiss it, edit it out whenever it's useful for them. That's just what they'll do.
It is an interesting point.
I love what they've done here because it's fucking foundation.
I'm not sure what it's going to be, if it's going to be a new Avengers or an Illuminati, but Illuminati is the name of a group and the Avengers. Anyway.
Okay, I'm sorry, I thought Beyonce.
But
I thought you meant, you said that and I, my brain auto-edited in the word alumni. Avengers alumni.
Because okay, listen, if we're gonna go for a team, what do we have right now? So we have
it's gonna be
Valkyrie,
A-Force.
we basically have A-Force.
Sam's gonna be Captain America.
Plus
I kind of like that idea, but he has a background role.
Okay,
I think is
who
what's
are
gonna
we?
happen.
Who do we think? So we're doing Shang-Chi, Master of Kung Fu, which is a weird fucking movie to do. The Eternals.
Wait, is that happening?
Oh yeah, it's been confirmed.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of like that. I kind of like that.
So you have Doctor Strange.
It's gonna be a
Master of
comedy,
Kung
right?
Fu.
Who's directing the Shang movie?
I don't remember the director, but it's an indie director.
I kind of like that idea because I kind of like him.
Okay.
I kind of like that a lot.
So we have Doctor Strange, Black Panther 2, Master of Kung Fu, The Eternals, and Spider-Man. Those are the people who have
That's
movies
who they have
between now and.
But if you think about that, that's that second wave of Marvel characters, of the heavy hitting Marvel.
Wait, so it's Doctor Strange, Master of Kung Fu. Who else?
Black Panther, Spider-Man, and the Eternals, which is
Okay, so
Eternals, they're going to
a couple of those.
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Guardians of the Galaxy.
The Black Panther, Doctor Strange, Master of Kung Fu. Those are all people that are in positions as a sensei to pass a torch.
That's the whole.
Can we
Yeah.
see that there?
Well, that's a big
And
thing
then
in
what-
Marvel Comics is the passing of the mantle to the next.
Right.
'Cause,
And
like,
so
that's the
what? And then
vehicle.
what's left with the other characters? Because there I see a
Fade
future.
into obsolescence. Like Thor is gonna fade into obsolescence. Thor just hangs out with the Guardians now. I think there's gonna be a Guardians 3 that is also Thor 4.
And then
I
what-
think James
yeah.
Gunn's gonna write it and Taika Waititi's gonna direct it.
Like, what are
No,
we...
that's what we hope, and that's what we want. Thank you.
I just, it's
I think
like,
that's
thank
what's
you,
gonna
Sam.
happen.
a lot of the other characters that are like main characters are basically going like, yeah, we're on a Disney Plus like short run TV show now. So like, what the fuck are they gonna like?
Yeah,
they've
you
shown
might be right.
such disrespect to all of their TV shows that have been in the MCU: Daredevil, Punisher, Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, like. The Iron Fist deserves
Do you mean
it.
what you mean Disney has shown?
Yeah,
that?
well, just
Okay.
the MCU, like as a like the movie
That's
franchise.
MCU. Yeah.
They've never brought
all straight to Netflix, and they were all like, some of them were pretty decent. Like Daredevil was cool, but got canceled after 3 seasons. Punisher was cool,
Wait,
but got
everyone
canceled
liked
after
Daredevil
2. Yeah, exactly. That's why we're like, why did it get
yeah.
canceled? They could have kept
because
going.
they're waiting for Disney streaming,
Yeah, honestly, you might be right. That's like ripe for revival.
and they're gonna
actually.
release like fucking seasons and shit. They're gonna
Honestly,
It's just
have
gonna
it ready.
ad nauseum.
I
It's gonna
can't
be
even imagine
horrific.
that they're not still doing that. If-
No, they will. It's just very disrespectful that they never brought Daredevil or Luke Cage, like the two most viable of the Defenders, to the big screen. Because one of
Yeah.
them is a bulletproof human being whose skin can't be broken because of dumb writing.
yeah, put him fucking in
It's
it.
kind of dumb writing though.
Like the reason why is he's like I was like genetically like modified to
how
have
can you
abalone
have-
shell in my skin.
How can
like
you have your next epic and not include them?
oh.
And that is implying that there's a next epic. Happy champagning.
Beautiful. Did you hear that bubble moment? That was actually excellent.
bubble.
Yeah.
What other pros do we have?
Oh man.
I want to move right into cons
Let's
because
go.
I've hit my pros. Captain America picking up
I'm
Mjolnir
not
is
done.
the best. I
She's got one
know.
more. She's got one
Fucking
more.
Thor talking to his mom, working through the
Aw,
things.
that was so
That was
sweet.
like, I have to call
And how
my
his mom
on
was
it.
just like, "You're not the Thor I know." She just knew right away. That was really cute. Yeah, that was actually really.
I
really
also
sweet.
love that Thor was fat and stayed fat.
Yeah. Also, by the way, shout out to my mom. I know she listens to the podcast. I love her very much.
Allison!
Yeah, we love you very much.
I'm sorry I made so many your mom jokes this week.
I think you are. And I would always say, Allison would fucking never. And don't talk about my friend like that. So.
Yeah, especially like when I was like, your mom's a genuine human being who would tell you how to improve
I'm
yourself.
like, don't even say things about my friend.
But Thor talked to his mom. There's a scene where Thor like cries to his mom, and it's like almost the sweetest thing because Thor's just broken and has given up, and it's like, wow.
I thought
You know?
it was a good move.
It was a good moment.
I
yeah.
think it's a good move to
It's-
kind of show people when they're not so great all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a good. It was
You know
I
what
think
else
it's
wasn't great
interesting
all the
'cause-
time?
what's that?
America's ass.
America's ass. That's such a great.
That's the
joke.
first-
Disagree.
That was the first thing I heard from Sid this morning. Was like her in her room just being like, "America's ass."
You're welcome.
Just her alarm on her phone going off. She's like, "America's
It's like
ass."
I'm a rooster, and I'm just like America's ass. That's horrible.
Yeah, it's great.
It's more like a parrot, also.
It's so good. Yeah,
Yeah.
Captain America shined in this movie.
Yeah.
But like more so than any other time. Like Captain America's a fucking dweeb. He's never funny. He was funnier in this movie than any other movie. He was fun. He like
You are in love with Chris Evans. Just
he's
saying.
fucking awesome. Captain America.
No, it's funny because he.
My viewpoint on Captain America changed so hard. He was a fucking
He
nerd.
was diehard Thor.
Yeah.
Forever.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
thought you would have been so. I'm like, Avery's gonna flip his shit, and then you're like, I love it, and I'm like, I thought I knew you.
What about Thor being fat and Captain America being
No,
the best
about
character?
Captain America taking up Boromir or whatever it's called, and, and taking that fucking hammer to the
Fucking
sky.
Awesome.
I thought you were gonna be pissed off.
No, I've
Do
always.
you think
Captain
Thor
America's always been up
felt
there.
the bus when, like, before, or like, do you think he saw the tracks and was like, "Oh my god"?
The thing is that Steve Rogers
Thrown
is
under
just
the
a
bus.
really solid guy.
Yeah, he's just like a guy you'd like to have a beer with.
Captain America's superpower is that he's just a really good dude. And I think that's what I like about him so much. He's just a good guy.
What's good?
What do you mean what's good?
I think
he
the
always
quintessential-
stands by what's right.
Yeah.
I think
to a fault. And that's why his character
morality
is so
is situational.
No,
Not when it comes to Captain America.
Like just even from the first movie.
Then
there's
Captain America should have died a long fucking time ago.
he should have, but that like
I don't know.
one of the best scenes in first Avengers is they're going through the train to see who's the guy who's going to be Captain America, and they throw like a grenade into the middle of everything, and he like everyone runs away, and he runs and like throws his body on the grenade and goes,
Like-
get back, and it's like a not a live
I
grenade.
remember
Yeah.
that.
But-
and it's like, it's corny. That's Captain America 1, and it's corny and stupid. But they set up his character for being like, he's just like, he wants to protect everyone around him, and he knows he has the like balls to do it.
He is
so
worthy.
he does it.
He
is worthy.
He is worthy.
Exactly.
That's why he gets to pick up the hammer.
Yeah,
'cause he is.
and it's such a good payoff because you know the whole time, like, even like you go back to Civil War and like Tony Stark has always been kind of like morally gray. Like he's in this like, he has so much money he can do whatever
Yeah, I
he
like
wants.
Tony Stark.
But then Captain America like fights for what's right even though he's a war criminal. Congratulations, Cap. You're a criminal.
Yeah.
It's like he fought for what's right because he's a good fucking dude. He's
Yeah.
just a good dude. But everybody should be more like Captain America. I'm saying it here live on the air.
Yeah, how are you going to be more like Captain America?
I don't know. I'm gonna pick
He's
up some
gonna
hammers,
shield.
dude. I'm gonna try any
He's gonna
hammers I
get
can
a
find. I'm trading in the sword for a shield.
You got a demilitarized sword.
We could sharpen it if we wanted to.
Yeah, wait, sounds like
Get an angle grinder, just.
an angle grinder. That's what that.
Angus Grinder.
Angus
Okay,
grinder.
I'm trying to think of other cons. Okay, I'm sorry, pros. So, I'm sorry, I'm not done. So, Valkyrie flying on her Pegasus during the epic
Oh, yeah.
end scene.
I think just a lot of like the minor characters during the epic end scene.
I'm
were
glad
really
Valkyrie
good.
was brought back in.
Yeah, we knew she was going to be
Yeah.
from because we didn't see her in Endgame, but
Yeah.
she was great. Just like little things like bringing in instant kill mode with Spider-Man.
Yeah,
that
stuff
was
like
great.
that. Yeah.
Also, another pro, the way Tony Stark died. It wasn't overdone. He was just like, oh my god, I've been injured in battle. And he just
Like-
kind of
Like faded.
dealing with it. Yeah. And then I thought that wasn't a hammed up scene. It was well done.
Oh yeah, and there are three parts where I cried. Number one, Tony Stark dying. Number two, Falcon getting the Captain America shield, and I think I cried the hardest at that.
I like
one.
that too.
And then also just the little moment where Spider-Man it goes back to high school. And
Yeah,
hugs Ned, and Ned looks
yeah.
so upset because he thought he was dead.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
That made me feel. But also, and then I was like, wait, why is Ned still in high school? It's been 5 years.
Well, I think probably, I don't know. I think there's a little bit of a timeline reset there, right? Or has it been like?
or did the deep like unsettling depression of the death of Spider-Man make him so he started fucking failing in high school and he had to repeat a
Oh
couple
my
years.
god, maybe you're right.
Like that would be like a very dark thing to fucking have.
Maybe
happen.
Ned got
after
snapped out
half
too.
of the fucking people in the world disappeared, they couldn't reboot everything.
Yeah,
right
they
away.
couldn't get high school going again. I also think Ned probably got snapped out of existence. And probably like whatever
Came
like
back to-
faculty was present probably like was just disintegrated. And then so Ned is now back there because think about it, half of the population of the world comes back and they're like, "Oh my god, we
Maybe
have to
Ned
all start this
disappeared.
again." I can't believe it's been 5 years, but
Let's talk about Captain Marvel.
Gas Queen. I love her.
Captain Marvel as a solo film is a con. Captain Marvel in Endgame,
That's what I'm talking about.
a little ham-fisted, but effective.
But I think she played that kind of like straight-laced cap
Convenient.
kind of feel.
Yes.
Yeah.
I loved it though.
yeah.
Convenient, but also like, I know we all know. Shut the fuck up. I'm gonna
Yeah.
go do this.
Like,
I
we're gonna
loved
go
it.
kill Thanos.
Yeah.
I
at the
loved
beginning.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really interesting, like the movie's set up in such a way. You see the beginning sequence, which is everything that's in the trailer, and you think like, okay, they're gonna go fight. This is gonna be an epic battle, and so quickly. It's just like, oh. And then it's like the bulk of this movie is about the dark awfulness of the darkest timeline of the Avengers.
Yeah.
Which is like all of the worst things come to pass. The only person who like had a benefit at all was Hulk and Bruce Banner. Like they got better.
I don't know. I thought Thor got better.
But they lost the Black Widow.
Thor got funnier.
They
So it's
lost
funny,
the Black
it's fair.
Widow when the Black Widow and fucking Hawkeye out-Avengered each other in the battlefield.
That is the biggest con, the biggest drawback of this movie is Hawkeye and Black Widow and the Soul Stone. That scene is out of place, it's unwarranted, and it's fucking weird.
I think that if we're talking
fucking
about the
weird.
cons, I think that we should try and reset those back in time teams because I think they were done poorly.
I think so too. I think that
What would you have done?
the,
I would've done-
Tony Cap was good.
But
Tony Cap, Ant-Man, perfect, actually.
I would just do Tony Ant-Man and then I put Cap with
with Hawkeye and Scarlet Avenger
Wait,
lady.
What? What?
Scarlet
because
Johansson.
okay, so Cap has a history with Red Skull, who's the guardian on Nidavellir.
You guys keep talking. I'm gonna pee.
All right, who's
You're the worst.
yeah. So,
Bye.
her whole his whole thing is like that was his first enemy, and so that would have been a really interesting reconciliation. Also, bringing him in, he's lost everyone. Him and Thor, if they both went together to go to deal with the Soul Stone,
Red Skull, yeah.
that like they both have lost everything. So who's gonna die? Like you have to sacrifice that person which you most love. With those people, they don't have anyone they love that's still alive.
Oh.
And so that I feel like that could have been way
sad.
better emotionally.
Well, then what would have fucking happened?
Something awesome.
Something awesome.
Like I think
where
that-
it would have been this like
a bigger payoff.
Yeah. Well, I mean, but okay, you can't. I mean, so much has gone into this film. You can't just like pay off and then pay off. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You cannot. That epic battle scene at the end was everything.
No, that was everything. Like, but they just weird teams. Nebula and War Machine. That's not a necessary one.
And also, War Machine was underdone. He was just a pedestal for Nebula. Like,
Yeah.
I didn't like that.
Weirdly, this movie was kind of Nebula's movie too. Like
She had a lot of growth.
Yeah.
She was really present in a lot of it, and her makeup looked fucking great.
because Karen Gillan doesn't look anything like that.
Right.
Like
Like her
Karen-
makeup looked fucking great.
I follow Karen Gillan on Instagram, and she's
You what?
And she's like this. She's really fucking tall.
Yeah, she's 5'11", gorgeous
Yeah.
redhead, Scottish girl.
Yeah,
like,
and she's like jacked.
Dude, she did an amazing
Yeah.
job.
yeah, like we were talking, it's kind of Nebula's movie too.
Yeah, it really is.
She has a big
really
arc.
not undue focus on Nebula, which I think is really cool.
Because they made her
Nebula
cool in Guardians too. Like,
Yeah, oh yeah, they made her a lot cooler in Guardians 2. She was cool in Guardians 1. She was
she
like
was
this
so-
conflicted villain
Yeah.
that like clearly had self-image issues, and like it's like that's fucking rad. Like she's been well written from day one.
And
I
her
think.
in there was a big thing for the comic book fans because in Infinity Gauntlet, the original Infinity Saga, she kills Thanos by wearing the glove, and
Yeah.
they kind of like hinted that she was going to get it. That was cool. Other one that I wanted to bring up was Captain America in the elevator, kind of recreating the Winter Soldier elevator scene,
yeah.
Fucking good.
and then him with like everyone
Him
was
being like,
Hail
Hydra.
Yeah, like when everyone was
awesome.
expecting him to go, does anyone want to get off before we get started?
And then
that's what
he-
I was expecting.
And then he whispered, "Destruction."
Destruction. Disruption.
Eruption.
Eruption discussion. Putting it on my muffin. Conniption.
Hey, is that any of that red wine still left?
I don't know, Avery.
Okay, more cons.
Say something nice about me.
You look great.
Say something honest.
You have liquor.
It's wine.
You have booze.
You have a hoot.
Jesus Christ.
Well, you said you wanted
I think it was an odd choice that there was no
Who's the
definitive...
guy in the studio? It's Chris, right?
What?
Is it our editor? The guy in the booth. What's his name?
Carol.
Okay, so Carol. Hey, Carol, definitely put in a waterfall sound effect. Thank you.
Thank you, Carol.
Thanks,
You're
Carol.
a beautiful man.
She's giving a thumbs
We'll
up.
feed you next week.
Oh, shit. Transition. That's a guy. God damn.
Wow.
Thank you, Carol.
What a turf.
We don't pay him.
Oh no, we barely acknowledge his existence. Yeah, like, it was weird. I don't know if I liked it or not. There wasn't a bad guy in this movie. Like Thanos was a bad guy.
Thanos was a bad guy.
But he was
they
like
were
in
their
a,
own bad guys, man. Character development.
There was that there.
Yeah.
They
There
were
was.
all their own
It was
enemies.
very,
It was
like-
kind of cool. I like that. I thought about this and I talked to actually Kelly went to go see this movie with us. Kelly's been on the podcast before too. He's a good friend of ours.
He was on
going back.
our Saw porn episode.
Oh yeah, he was. Going pretty far back, but he went to come see this movie with us, and one thing that I brought up to him is that, and I brought up to you too, Ash. Thanos in this movie feels like when you've already killed the final boss and you've seen the end cinematic, but you go back and you kill the final boss again.
You get the correct cinematic
because he
like,
drops 150 gold and he also drops like some epic loot. That's how Thanos felt in this. Like they brought him back because he's like, why wouldn't you? You know, like, and he's back and he's
was
saying all the
very-
same shit. You know,
very generic feel once you got to that battle scene in terms of just like Thanos did not have the same payoff as he did in
not
Infinity
not
War.
as he did in Infinity War. But this movie wasn't about Thanos.
No,
It was
wasn't.
about the fucking fans.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
really was.
It really was.
You
And,
don't
like-
even see your favorite characters having victory moments. You just see them fucking being in the thick of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking living life and being like, I might die. Rah, you know?
Yeah.
It was really nice.
Nitpick. Thanos says that he shrunk down all the stones to microscopic size. That's literally something he said. They use the stones to do
Before
And-
Thor cuts his head off.
Yeah, and then they're like, you know what? We have this guy who shrinks down to subatomic sizes, but he's talking about time travel, so I guess we'll do that.
Well, you would have to
Yeah.
go to subatomic sizes and know what you're looking for and then navigate that.
Yeah, they've
guess so.
all seen the fucking Infinity Stones.
I guess so. But that's kind of what they did by going into the quantum realm.
They did,
Right.
but like at the same time, it's like they could have done like cool like.
Well, I think
Quantum
part
realm
of what it is
payoff.
that they probably could have extracted the information from Thanos, but Thor impulsively kills him before they can get any more
I
information.
went for the head. Now I'm
Yeah.
gonna become an alcoholic.
Yeah, exactly. That's like
Yeah,
exactly what
that
happened.
was like the first sign of like, oh my god.
yeah, like Thor's
Like,
not okay.
hey, someone make sure that Thor gets home. Make him text you.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
make sure he gets in his lift. Like
Yeah, I don't know what's going on, but that's our bed, and we've all been there.
Yeah.
And I liked it. I kind of liked the Thor narrative, the whole I'm not going to accept exactly everything that around me shows me, and I'm doing all right, da-da-da. And he still fucking goes, joins the Avengers and does the things and like
And that
deals
scene-
with his shit.
Yeah.
And
That
at first I
scene
didn't
when
like it.
they
I was like, what the fuck? I want to see Thanos die,
Yeah.
But it was all right.
But like that scene when they pull him up because he talks about the reality stone.
And he's
'cause
just
he has
talking about his
experience-
ex.
Yeah, and he's just like he can't even describe it.
Who was it that like gave him the cutoff sign? They're like,
it was like
Oh, it
War
was Hulk,
Machine.
but it was
Was
Hulk.
it like oh yeah, it was
Yeah.
Professor Hulk. Like
He was like,
yikes, man! Like we gotta get this guy's not.
he's like, no, I got it.
Kind
I
of a funny
see."
homage to that movie, which no one liked, where he's like, I don't really remember what happened in this movie. I was in it, I
Right.
think, but I'm not quite sure. No one's really sure what the Reality Stone did in this film.
because it was weird and it wasn't very clear.
And it wasn't reality.
I
Like,
know I watched it, but I do not remember it.
It's
now.
Chris
Nobody
Edelstein
does.
from-
Chris Hemsworth doesn't remember that movie.
Well, to be
Natalie
fair-
Portman definitely doesn't.
Kat Dennings' breasts barely remember the film.
Who? What?
They're Kat Dennings' breasts.
Kat Dennings' breasts.
They're
Both or just one?
yeah, as seen on the hit TV show, not New Girl, Two Broke Girls.
Two new girls.
Mm.
Two new girls.
Like breasts.
Because
I
they're
think
smart, or
they're not broke because they're smart. I hate to break it to you.
it's because they're capable.
It's because they're independent women who just know exactly what they want. Yeah, no, that's why they're broke.
Let me guess, they do something with cupcakes, or
I don't know. They work at some kind of diner where they wear yellow, so
they wear mustard.
right. That's why I was like,
ketchup
okay, so
colors.
they're doing like something with cupcakes.
But Kat Dennings is in Thor: The Dark World. They
no,
reference.
she isn't. Her breasts are. I'm not sure about it.
Yeah, we're pretty
What?
sure she's present. So her breasts were physically in that. They CGI'd the rest of Kat Dennings into the movie.
Yeah.
Incredible
It was-
technology. Marvel's been really pushing
It was
boundaries
honestly
since
their
the beginning.
most expensive movie.
Yeah. Thor: The Dark World is a weird, like, sidestep in Marvel
these
history.
are the moments as a woman I'm like, you know what, that's good. This is all right.
Yeah, like...
Do you want us to explain to you why we're talking about her breasts in particular?
Yeah, why?
It's not that she's a bad actress. It's that that's definitely the reason why she's in the industry.
It's not that she's a bad actress. It's that her breasts are both better actresses than she is.
It's like how Christina Hendricks is never used because she's a talented actress.
But
It's
no,
because she's
you
thick.
know, it's just titties. I mean, titties are great.
Yeah,
Everyone
but like
should see titties.
when you think about it, there are only two. Like it used to be, like there are. Oh, check out all these different titty actresses we have. Now it's just like Kat Dennings and Christina Hendricks are the titty actresses in the biz, as it were.
Are there any like dude equivalents for these?
Oh yeah,
Every Marvel superhero.
yeah.
Because you
every
see
dude.
something sexualized about them, like what?
Yes.
It's like
they're mostly the
the
shoulder caps, the delts.
the gratuitous shirtless scenes that are in every single
Also,
Marvel,
just like
Marvel movie.
Some
So
of
they
Game of
titties
Thrones.
out.
Yeah,
Like, because they just are like, hey, check out like these juicy flaccid penises.
yeah,
I did like the
You don't remember that
flaccid
part?
full frontal action.
yeah.
in
Endgame was
Thrones.
great for flaccid full frontal action.
Honestly,
No, it's
I mean,
not. Also, for those who really like that.
Also,
well, I don't know. Thanos is very scrotum adjacent. I don't
I
want to
mean,
harp on
yeah, he has raisins.
he actually represents the cumulative ball sack of humanity. This movie's very metaphorical. It's
it.
kind of incredible.
He's the left testicle because
the
perfectly
left
balanced.
testicle of society.
Yeah, as all things should be, perfectly
Hanging
balanced.
slightly lower to negate or to show that he's evil.
Yeah,
Right.
It's beautiful.
like if I was
Is
to
it?
choose,
Honestly,
which one
brought
is
a tear to
evil.
my eye. I'm sorry, guys.
You didn't even
Avery,
you don't cry.
yeah,
sorry.
get out of here! Don't you fake cry about anything.
I'm sorry.
Speaking of, I was not super big on all of the tricks to make people cry at the end game.
Got it.
Because at the end of it, it was very much like kind of we're gonna suck our own dicks, masturbatory, like
A little bit of that, yeah.
remember what we did for
This
all of
movie
these
was
people
very,
in the
very
universe
meta.
that we created.
It's not
very
even-
Scientology.
I don't know. I think that it was less that, more homage to like, thank you, Robert Downey Jr. for starting this journey that got to go for 10, 11 years.
and
like-
he did a good job at it.
Like, I just think that like it was less of a like this guy's a hero. Like it didn't feel like this guy's a hero, this guy's Iron Man, blah blah blah. It felt more like kind of an homage, like, you know what, Robert Downey Jr. is not going to be in any more of these movies. We need to show a little bit
Yeah.
of appreciation that he is. If his movie hadn't done so well, there would be
None
no
of this would have
MCU.
existed. Yeah, that's a really great point. This is easily the most meta of all of the Marvel movies.
Oh, for sure.
They all have like this like underlying meta like undertow that I think has been pretty much omnipresent throughout the entirety of the MCU. this one really hammers it home, especially with like the time traveling back to events that must have happened in previous. Like they traveled back to Avengers. They reference the years. So what I think is interesting is that when they're time traveling, they reference the years that the movie came out, because the years that those movies came out are also the same years that they take place in the story. So they go back to 2014 to hang out with the Guardians of the Galaxy. They go back to 2012 to hang out with the Avengers in Avengers 1. And it's like very, very meta. Like they're specifically referencing, this is what it was like in 2012. We're revisiting this.
Has any movie ever done that ever? I don't fucking think so.
Not to this scale.
Yeah, no movie has had the opportunity to do what they've done.
This is fucking... That's why.
That's why this movie's weird.
That's why there's
nothing's
no
been like
traffic
this.
and everything's fucking chill on a Saturday night because Avengers is
nothing's
out.
like this.
That's a nuts thing to think about.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
like the
that kind of thing.
election or something. you
Yeah,
know?
that's honestly
The Purge.
because of the Purge.
Right. The Avengers Purge.
But it's definitely very it's very unique, and like the meta moments, like kind of like this was like so there's like a term called a member movie, right? An example of a member movie would be like Anchorman 2. You're only going to see Anchorman 2 if you saw Anchorman 1.
Right.
This is like a member movie, but everybody saw Infinity War. So it's like I mean, like, I'm definitely guilty of this. I saw Infinity War, and then I went back and watched a whole bunch of Marvel shit.
Yeah.
A whole bunch. And so now I'm all cut up and I'm like excited. I'm ready. Endgame comes out. It's rewarding. There's a lot of payoff. And that is a member movie mentality applied to something that is universally pop cultural, right? So something like so big that there's Thanos memes, you know, that like you scroll through your Facebook on your phone and
Reddit.
everything, every other post is about the new Avengers movie.
Yeah.
It's huge. It's like ever permeating.
Yeah, it's a movie that they basically took all the money out of advertising for it a little bit. Like they didn't do a full fucking trailer, and they
need to,
and they're still gonna destroy records. And
yeah,
it's kind of amazing.
Gonna blow it out of the water. It's probably I haven't looked at any box office numbers yet.
Looking like
we should
it's
review this next week on our next episode because
talk about the box office numbers.
because it's going to beat Infinity War.
Which was the biggest of all time.
What's the thing called? Box office?
You can check Box Office Mojo is usually the most accurate. But we often end up like Googling around it because IMDb has some box office information, but it tends to be inconsistent.
So Box Office Mojo says navigate that.
So Avengers Endgame, release date April 26th, runtime 3 hours. Production budget non-applicable, so they're not announcing it. They won't.
Yeah, they have an estimated 400 million.
Yeah, that's insane. Actually, so total lifetime grosses so far, domestic is 156 million. This is opening weekend, which is
not
fucking
over yet.
Fucking
not even
of.
everyone that wanted to see it.
So a good, like a surprisingly good opening weekend was something like Halloween that came out last fall, and that made like 75 million. I think something 75, 80 million opening weekend.
I don't know.
This made 156.7 million dollars domestic opening weekend.
Do we have an international?
Foreign, the foreign market. Opening weekend so far has made $487 million.
It has come out. It did come out earlier in other countries. I know in Indonesia is out the 24th.
So we can
but we're looking at this right now, and that's $650 million in like 3 days.
And what is it today? Saturday night?
Sunday morning.
It's Sunday morning.
Right,
so Saturday was
like
427.
Saturday night.
It's been out for a day and a half. And it's made $650 million.
We'll see what happens.
So it's going to be, in release one day, So it's only been in release one day according to these metrics on Box Office Mojo. So that means that it's going to be the biggest opening of all fucking time. Like, that's insane. That's so insanely huge.
Yeah.
You know what? You know, I'm thinking about this movie and I'm like, okay, so what's the fucking takeaway? Avengers aside, plot only. It just seems like we're gonna get back at you, Dad. You know, like, I'm like, okay, I understand that Thanos is like this crazy fucking human being, like dictator, ruler, like planet destroyer. Mm-hmm. And what I saw in the movie is a lot of like, you hurt me one time and I'm going to get back at you.
There's a lot of vengeance.
Yeah. And it's just like, it seems kind of young-minded.
I think in terms of stakes, it makes the most sense of all vengeance-based movies.
Vengeance.
Yeah, they are the Avengers. Yeah. They're not the Revengers.
Yeah, maybe I should have really.
They're not the A-Force.
Yeah.
They're not the Defenders.
Yeah, they're not the Defenders. They're the Avengers.
Mm-hmm.
Avengers.
Who's gonna avenge my son, Tony Stark?
Carol.
Carol Danvers.
Dude, she fucking Miss Marvel, Captain Marvel,
Miss Marvel.
She was also Miss Marvel,
Lady Marvel. She I wish she was there more.
Yeah.
I wish she was there more. Period. Like, I wish that movie came out 3 years ago.
Yeah, that's a drawback. Because Captain Marvel,
that's a very new character to like fucking
to interact with our favorites.
Yeah, and then
it's almost like I don't want to be the asshole who says it, but it's almost like she didn't really earn to be there yet, and
which is
she doesn't
lame.
give a fuck though.
Yeah.
That's also that. It's like she's like, there are a lot of planets. You are one. It's almost like she's visiting like a city.
But she comes back at the end, and I think like it's supposed to feel really fucking awesome.
I thought it felt awesome.
It felt like pretty awesome. It would have been better if they had her come back before everybody came back to life.
She had like a power romper on, and her hair was on fleek. Like, she knew what she was doing.
Yeah, she looked cool. That's definitely true.
And like her stance was like, you know what I mean? Like, man spreading.
She was
woman
spreading.
Subway, just kind of like.
Well, power does emanate from the vagina. This is what I have.
Just don't see. You can't even see her.
No,
you guys have no idea. Oh, thank God.
What was that?
That was actually the leather of the chair.
Okay, it was like, someone own it. We're
well, the power does come from the vagina. I just said that.
All this happened, and then
where did that ping pong ball
that was
come
you,
from?
Sid.
There were a lot of characters that I felt got a good amount of screen time that didn't deserve it, though.
Like
Hawkeye.
Although there was a great moment where because we just watched Civil War, but where Black Panther just goes, Clint, and he's just like, he's talking to Clint, and he remember in Civil War he said, "Hey, I'm Clint," and he went, "I don't care."
Yeah, it's
so
pretty good.
There was a good little. It's all the subtle things. Yeah.
That's what I like about Hawkeye is that he's a guy, like, he's tired. He had to get up earlier than he wanted to, and like he has a family, and like he hasn't had his coffee yet.
Yeah. He doesn't have any technology.
And he has
like
a haircut that he forgot he got when he was drunk.
Yeah, and he has like a 401k.
He
I like to think that he probably gets health insurance.
He got a
Shield
tip from a biker bar on where to get his haircut, and it was a real mistake.
But like he gave it a shot because they're nice guys.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
like,
you know,
they bought him drinks before. For sure.
He's just like, you know what? I've been putting it off for so long. These guys keep telling me to go see Susan at the haircut place.
Come on, his name's Tristafay.
I've been hanging out with these guys. I have to do it. Like, I have no choice. So he got the haircut, and he's just like, man, now I gotta hang out with the Avengers.
God damn it, I have to go kill the Yakuza.
Like,
they're somehow responsible
for
this.
If you were a superhero today, what would be your superpower? And what would it be?
BD.
My superpower would be that everybody thought I had a superpower.
Yeah, big dick energy. That's what I said.
Oh.
My superpower would be that everybody would think that I have a superpower, but I'm constantly trying to convince people that I don't. So I'd be like, seriously, I'm not a superhero. And they'd be like, you're goddamn right, that's the attitude we need. They'd be like, you can get out there, you can do it. You can be the hero. And I'd be like, seriously, I don't have any powers. Keep doubting yourself, man. I don't know if you're the hero this city needs.
You're not a superhero then.
I'd be like, what? And
You're
then
just an American.
it would all be like an illusion.
I think I'd be a Hulk type character where I have like a creepy alter, like there's a demon inside of me, and then if like I get hit, like the demon comes out. Yeah, and like my skin gets all scaly, and I'm like,
hulky.
I don't want this. Please, he's gonna kill someone.
What would your name be? That's a good name.
Just dot.
It's coming.
The one from the comics I'd love to have is Kid Kaiju. Kid Kaiju is a 8-year-old with a book, and when he draws creatures in it, they come to life and defend him, and that's awesome.
That's actually pretty fun.
But I know that my left-handed, uncoordinated ass can't draw anything, so
I'm left-handed. I do make both ways.
Listen. I need other lefties to stop like taking hits on me. We're all coming from the same place. We all have trouble with some scissors.
Us get it.
Yeah, you're more
I don't have trouble with scissors.
Yeah, you're more ambidextrous.
Scissors have trouble with me.
So we've kind of gone off the rails. We're all kind of drunk. We all saw Avengers Endgame. Guys, we are on a podcast. I don't know if you guys forgot. I kind of did.
Oh my god!
But
I knew with your first bathroom break.
But we are here, and we all have some ratings and reviews in 5 words for Avengers Endgame.
Okay.
Who wants
make
to
me
start?
You do it. You go.
Yeah.
I want to start.
Don't fucking make
I'll
me.
do it.
Okay, Asher, go.
That's the energy we need.
5 words. Avengers assemble. Don't fucking at me. That's too many words. Don't at me.
Avengers assemble. Don't fucking at me. Too many words. That's 11 words, dude. That's great. For the story too. For the story Endgame. You get 11 words.
I have had very mixed feelings about this movie in the last 24 hours. I will say that I do think that it is authentically better than Infinity War.
We're gonna disagree.
I think that there is something about what they tried to do with this movie that I really respect, and I'm not sure what it is yet. I have to watch the movie a couple more times.
This is his rating. Let him have it.
I'm gonna give this movie.
You're off. You're over there, like.
I'm gonna give this movie a 9.5 out of 10. I thought that I had a really good time. And give me a better Hawkeye.
Yeah, fair enough.
Amen, brother.
All right.
Or that was my turn. No, it's fine. No,
we doing
end
that?
on a good note. No, I got it.
Yeah, you be negative, you piece of shit.
Yeah, I'm about
We're
to
ready
be.
for you, you slut.
Yeah, I'm terrible. I'm a horrible human being. I am a
you
horrible
sealed it.
person. 5 words right there.
Oh my god, why?
Yeah, you like that?
Well, because of the children you have locked up in
Yeah.
your bathroom.
Well, there's that.
They
and
want to
also,
be there. They don't even have names. They
Avengers
never told me.
Endgame is an enigmatic, almost needlessly, comes close to needlessly enigmatic. They do a great job of leaving no stone unturned. They honestly, that is the best part. Captain
Take
America
the
picks up
stones.
Mjolnir. That's like fucking tight, right? That's so cool. We're glad we got it. We didn't know we wanted that. That elevates it. Easily elevates it. Hawkeye and Black Widow dicking off with the Soul Stone, hanging out with Hugo Weaving was fucking weird.
It's not even real Hugo Weaving. It's fake guy pretending to
that
be
ain't-
Hugo Weaving.
And they edited it in, and like clearly in this one, maybe less so in Infinity War. I don't know if they actually got him for some
They
scenes.
did.
They didn't at all.
So they got someone who does a Hugo Weaving impression. to
That
do
doesn't
it.
surprise me.
Yeah,
That makes
because
sense.
Hugo Weaving was like, "This
It was
is
good.
too much
It fooled
makeup.
me.
This
Yeah,
is way
probably.
too much makeup. I spent too many hours in my trailer."
Probably, right? And he sounds
Not
exactly
enough
like
time
that.
eating sandwiches.
That being
beer.
said, Infinity War I felt was a cleaner execution of what was honestly somewhat of a similar story. Endgame felt like the tie-up with all of the fan service that didn't have broad enough appeal. That was just specifically honed in. I personally loved all of the fan service. It got me excited. It got me giddy. The problem is that from a cynical film viewer perspective, it limits its scope and it limits its availability.
I think that they've had 21 movies to do that.
That is a fair point.
I think that
I still disagree.
This is a movie like following Infinity War. Infinity War's purpose was to make everyone watch the other movies. This movie was to thank them for doing that.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's a good way of putting it.
This movie is a bandwagon. You won't get on it. Right? That's what it does. It's like, it's cool enough that everything is like, I want to fucking catch up. I want to know everything about this epic.
But,
I'm sorry, I was getting into my review, so back to me. So what I'm going to give
I haven't
this...
finished it. Hold on.
Sorry, I thought you were done reviewing.
No. So, Infinity War was a better film.
No.
Infinity War was better.
No.
Okay.
Incorrect.
It had, honestly, more efficient pacing. This movie had weird subtones of comedy conflicting with, like, almost way too pervasive elements of drama that just, like, I enjoyed.
Watched an MCU movie in your life.
I just disagree.
That's like the formula.
Yeah, and it is often. It is. I felt that the mixture just was off balance a little bit. This movie played across very, very weird. Compared to Infinity War, which everything was paced better, this movie was paced not quite as well.
Do you not have respect for a movie that's going to break box office records but has such an unusual structure? Like, because I respect that.
Honestly,
thing.
you haven't let me finish yet. You guys both keep interrupting
Well, you're
me.
fucking taking forever while you repeat
I know.
Because you keep interrupting me.
I'm sorry. I'm just questioning what you're saying. I'm just being critical. Sorry.
So the thing is that Infinity War, I don't know what I gave it the first time around. Honestly, I really don't. Infinity War represents something that's really, really excellent. I don't know if it like has a numerical value. This sits slightly below that for me. I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10, which is still really fucking excellent and really got me like right here, right by my liver.
It's called your heart.
It just got me right here in my gallbladder.
It got me right by that thing that
It's
pumps.
like right here, the
dead
thing that beats.
Yeah, the
just
thing
right,
that pumps
right in my gallbladder right here.
just cold water through my veins.
But there were some off-kilter moments that felt weird for me.
For sure.
And it just didn't flow as well. And I found myself bored in the middle of this movie. And I think back to Infinity War, where I'm like, I wasn't bored for a single moment in the entirety of Infinity War. But towards the end of all that time travel shit, man, I just like kind of...
I think that one scene just kind of fucking
really
slowed
dragged the movie down for me. And it wrecked the pacing. And then going into the third act...
Can I talk about my review?
We're almost there.
Are we?
And that's just what I think. And so I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10.
Fuck off. I knew you were just going on and on.
No,
9 out of 10.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, 5. What are your 5 words?
I already said them.
I forgot what they were.
That's okay. What are your 5 words, Sid?
Purple potato loses epic battle.
Did you steal that from somewhere?
No. We live in purple potato.
Muscular grimace.
Right? Like, he lost a lot. So, like, a lot of this movie was, like, making the movie be a movie with, like, plot structure and things like that. I get it. You know what? It fucking paid off. I'm gonna give it a 10 out of 10. It's the first time anything like this has been done. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's hard
That doesn't inherently make it.
It doesn't make it perfect, no. But what I'm saying is, it was seamless in ways that, like, you know, you can't pull off easily.
Yeah.
And even though it had its hiccups, the fucking, like, you know, fuck. What are you gonna do? You know what I mean?
Hiccups detract from a 10 out of 10. That's my point.
Right, sure.
Is that it's still really good, but those
think it
hiccups...
redeems itself.
This was a 3-hour movie.
And I'm giving
Which
my
is-
review. So what I'm gonna say is, I think that it's not perfect and it didn't fucking need to be. It set a lot of milestones. It did a lot of things. I think that deserves credit, and I'm going to give it all the credit. Because there was a lot of people that made this movie, and it looked fucking seamless.
Again, that doesn't inherently make it.
No, I'm like, fuck, I see a lot of hard work, and I want to give it it's just like, yeah, I see that.
When it comes down to it, they did leave no Infinity Stone unturned.
Right.
Avery, make that joke again.
I'm just like, I thought I'd let you talk, and then maybe you'd let me talk. But
They hit it with the Mjolnir.
all I'm saying is a lot of fucking cool shit happened. And it looked great, and it was totally enjoyable.
I think there's a level I definitely agree with you that, like, you know what? 10 minutes
This
of,
fucking
like,
hasn't-
bad Hawkeye, like,
Right.
out of a 3-hour movie, that
It
shouldn't
just
ruin
felt like
our...
it was longer than that, though. Like, I think back to it, and I think back to the middle of the film, and I just, like, can only remember the bad Hawkeye scene. And maybe that's my fault.
Like, and
maybe I'm horrible.
I do think that
But-
authentically, like, all the other time travel scenes were not that bad.
No, most of them are pretty good.
Yeah.
Honestly, most of them were actually
It was,
really
like,
good.
just that one. That,
Some
like,
of the fun elements, especially with like Captain America, the idea that they went back again, like they went another layer deeper,
I
like
love
Inception.
that he went back
Very
and
cool.
like stayed with his love, because upon that scene when he's like, it's the back. Asher and I talked about this.
Yeah.
I thought it was Steve Rogers, and he lost his muscle.
Oh, okay.
He was just like, he's like, oh, well, I'm fucked now, because I'm so
I
used to
thought
the
that too,
Avengers
actually.
kind of ending on a somber note.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
they did a good job.
Like, it's just, like, every little... Like, that is beautiful because he got his last dance with Peggy. Because, like, he said that
know.
before he
Yeah,
got
that was a
frozen, he
really
was supposed to have a
beautiful,
dance
great
with her.
ending.
That's when because I wanted to cry, but I didn't, because I'm a fucking adult and I know how to button up.
Shut up.
Oh, sorry, not you. You're different. You're a feeler.
Yeah.
I
have a lot of
don't.
feelings.
And I have feelings. It's just like, I tell them where to go.
I still give this a 9 out of 10. This movie's still better than basically everything we've
Everything
watched.
you've ever, but
Yeah.
you're such a little sad sap about things.
I just like I can't get over some of the negative points.
I think that when you watch it again, you're gonna have a different level of
You're the
appreciation.
Simon Cowell.
You're
and I'm
gonna
the
know that
Paula.
there's the bad.
You see it.
I think-
This is Randy Jackson right
I think
here.
knowing that there's that one bad scene, you can enjoy everything else, and then just kind of like, you know.
But it
check
wasn't
out.
just the one bad scene is there. You're right, and that was like really that pulled me out of the film.
I will tell
very
you
hard.
this though, it was
You know?
a good relief point. Because you need some fucking relief
They
for a 3-hour thick
reused
brick like they
the
served.
same music and the same
right.
shot from when Gamora
Also,
died in Infinity.
and I'm into
They
it.
just recycled it.
I'm into it. You need the reset. You do.
It's kind of interesting that she's
I
dead.
love the
Yeah.
set, and I do love that Gamora is still fucking.
I think that was a fumbled death.
I think yes.
I think
Yeah.
it should have meant a lot, and it was just like.
I also enjoy the finality because they are
It
making a
did
Black
mean a
Widow
lot.
movie. Like, I like the idea that, okay, they're like, Black Widow's dead, but we're getting a prequel. It's gonna
That's
have,
true.
like,
I like the idea of a Black Widow movie a lot. A Black Widow movie should have happened
a while
6
ago,
years
yeah.
ago.
Yeah, she's fun.
Yeah, is it like she's cool? Like she's actually fucking cool.
She's the one character where you came out of Age of Ultron and you were like, yeah,
I
no,
love
I'd like to learn more.
Thor and Star-Lord fighting over captainship really
Right.
subtly.
It's like it's so funny because now like Thor's just like a guardian of the galaxy. I love the idea that he's just gonna hang out with the Guardians now, and that's what he does.
It'd be pretty cool to see Tessa Thompson as Lady Thor.
Who's Tessa Thompson?
Valkyrie, because
Yeah.
now she's queen of New
Yeah,
Asgard.
pretty much, right?
Yeah, so that I
Thor's just gonna be like a
There
fat
was no
weirdo
ro-
in space.
there
I
was
think
no
that's so awesome.
romance. I think it was just like a nod of respect toward one another.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I
like
don't
I
think
like
there
the
was
idea
any-
that it could have been like that and they didn't make it gratuitous and be like now they're in love and now they
Yeah.
just kiss.
Yeah.
They very much minorly dealt with the love stuff. Like
Yeah.
there was Steve Rogers thing with his lady, and there was Gamora and Star-Lord, which was like 40 seconds of the movie.
Yeah.
Which is another reason why that one Hawkeye scene doesn't work, is because it is long, and like they
Yeah.
do like very fan servicey things that maybe do or don't work later in the movie, but it's like a couple seconds where you're like,
A problem with it I had, especially with that scene specifically, was I was really concerned watching it, like, oh no, they're gonna like kiss or something, and it's gonna be gross and bad.
Yeah, he's married. He's got kids.
Exactly, like he like cares about his family, and that's his character. So if like something like that had happened, that just would have like his character was always already kind of like half written for this movie, but like if that had happened, it would have just subverted everything that they had already
I think that
established about
being
his
like,
character, and it would have been
we know exactly what happens for the Soul Stone. Let's send two people who are actually friends instead of the War Machine Nebula team, which was
my
like,
god,
who didn't fucking
I need
care
to
about.
know about the recasting. Who would you recast for these?
Okay, well, like I said, I'd do a Cap and maybe like Hulk. Or
Captain
even
Hulk would be
even
To
like
go to where? Because there's three
Vormir.
destinations.
Well, there are more than
to go to get the Soul Stone.
Soul Stone for sure.
Yeah.
And then I do like a Nebula and Rocket for the Power Stone, because I think
Yeah.
there's something very funny about both of those people very much disliking Quill.
That is the worst unit to send.
Why?
Because you know why. You're smirk. You're like, why? It's because they know power and they know they want it.
Yeah, I know, but there's something
that is
also
kind of a
about
good
like
point. They would both steal it. They
They
wouldn't
would.
work along.
It would
Yeah.
be a great fucking.
That's probably why War Machine was there in the first
that's
place,
a
because he's
movie
just like
in
reliable.
itself.
Yeah.
But anyway, no, that would never happen. You
Yeah.
need to find
I
people
wouldn't
that.
send back like a Cap, Iron Man, Ant-Man team to go get Avengers 1.
I would. I thought that was great. I thought that was the most effective team up.
Maybe.
Cap and Iron Man, just period. Just like so good. They already have so much tension. There's so much like fire between the two of them. And then like having them team up like almost reluctantly.
Are you saying that you wouldn't you prefer that to what would have happened if, let's say, Professor Hulk went back and then Professor Hulk has an interaction with like real Hulk in the past? Like, would you not have loved that more?
I mean, maybe.
That would have been, I think,
But that's not the
interesting, a
point.
great
The thing
fight,
is
like,
that Professor Hulk is not as strong as Hulk.
like, why is Professor Hulk the one talking to Tilda Swinton of all the people?
Because they needed to fit Professor Hulk in there somewhere, to be honest.
Like, wouldn't you have liked like a Tony Stark? Like, I'm not saying that it's the right choice, but like Tony Stark and Tilda Swinton talking about the merits of technology versus magic,
Yeah.
something fun like that.
I think that would bring up political points, and that's why that was negated.
that's it. That's feasible, but I'm just saying it would have been interesting.
It seems very clearly left and right.
Because like
know
also
what I
you have
mean?
the stakes of like Doctor Strange basically inferred that Tony not getting stabbed was like the most important thing for, and he was willing to give the time stone over.
Yeah.
So putting Iron Man rather in that situation where he talks to, like, he gets to like talk to her, like, not only did Doctor Strange say that this was the only way, but like I lost my friend, he gave up the time stone for me and I need to know why, and that would have been a really excellent moving
Right.
scene. I think that's a bit. I think
Yeah,
that they
that
were.
would've worked.
I think they kind of like. I think there were a lot of ways that you could have recast those, and they would have had a lot of different payoffs. And I think a lot
You
of them would have
must
been
think
better.
that they have thought of them.
You would think, but I'm not sure. Like,
You don't know.
I think that the way things
But
turned
you
out.
must think that they would have thought of them in
Yeah.
in a grand scheme kind of thing.
I think also at the same time, they probably tried to pair up almost like, I mean, obviously they had to do Tony and Captain America. That's like an inevitable like duo that had to go back in time. I think they almost wanted to roll the dice with some weirder ones, like have War Machine and Nebula go back. You know,
what did Rocket? Which team was Rocket on?
He was with Thor.
Oh yeah, that was a weird one.
yeah, that was a weird one.
Because they
Yeah.
already have the chemistry. Like, you don't need to put them together. We get it. Like, they're gonna be in Guardians.
And Thor
together.
just hung out with his
I
mom,
really
and
loved,
Rocket just
though,
like
when Rocket,
grabbed
like,
the reality
did the
vials
thing.
or something.
He like was running away, and all of the Asgardians were like, "Stop, Rabbit!"
Yeah.
I thought that was a funny homage to like.
Yeah, to Ragnarok. Called him a rabbit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but guys, this is a long podcast. We've all been drinking. We've all been talking.
We've all
You're
been thinking.
welcome.
We've all been thinking, drinking, talking,
We've been
arguing,
thinking
frankly.
And drinking and arguing, and I'm right.
And we all saw it. We saw the movie.
We did the thing.
I'm kind of drunk and sleepy. It's a 9 out of 10. We've all unanimously agreed.
I think it averages out to a 9.5 technically.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does. Avengers Endgame, you've already seen it. I mean, like, I would say go ahead and watch it. I would recommend it, but you've already seen it. You wouldn't have listened to this episode if you hadn't already seen it, or wanted it to get spoiled.
I think it's worth seeing. There's a lot of things that haven't been
so
said
worth
here.
seeing.
It's a lot to unpack.
That's
to
another reason
everything.
why we gave this 2 hours of an episode, is because there is a lot to unpack. We haven't even fully fleshed it out. I mean, like, there's more to be absorbed. I'm gonna see this movie again in theaters. Like, I'm going to go again.
We're going together.
We should go this week. I think we should go this week.
Yeah. Maybe
It's
he'll hold your hand. He held my hand the whole movie.
It is.
You what?
It is excellent. I mean, having the characters revived, like it's always fun seeing your favorite character come back on screen. Like,
But
people
not Vision.
clapped.
Yeah, why would, yeah.
Vision done.
Not Vision.
Vision is dead. And also nobody's favorite character was Vision.
He's like the iPod that you had your first time you had an iPod.
And then
Yeah,
it
he
broke.
is a shuffle.
Yeah. Yeah. No, or he's like your iPod video that got stolen out of your locker
There's
at the
a
Y.
video? Yeah, no, me too.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, Vision's dead. Loki.
I don't know.
Loki grabbed the space stone in an alternate reality.
But did it get reset? I don't know.
But, well, that was before they were like, we got to go back in time again. We got to go into Dream Layer 3.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and that's when
good
Gamora and Star-Lord can be together.
So,
Anyways, let's
Have a great night, babies.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening.
Thank you so much, Ash. You have to send us off.
Ash, send
Obviously,
us up.
guys, follow us at For the Story Podcast and Instagram.
And on Twitter and on Facebook.
Send us an email
For
too.
the Story.
Somebody
For
fucking
the
send me
story at gmail.com.
goddamn email.
I'm tired of
Avery.
hazing them.
Somebody send me a fucking email for the
For
story
the
podcast
story
at gmail.
Podcast
At gmail.com. Thank you so much, guys, for listening. We love you so much. Goodbye.
For the Storians, assemble.